started driving. So like all I'll have to do is press one stop button. But anyway, it'll probably fall over 40 times, which will be annoying. But I wanted to get on and to capture my feelings about how yesterday went and talk about the actual physical process while it's really fresh in my mind. So yesterday was just like a really busy day, so I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday, but I would have been very weepy, actually. It went so perfectly. The doctor was really, really happy. So we got in like 12 o'clock, and I was in the room around like 12:40, maybe 45, and they so I had to get undressed, of course, everything except my bra, and then my friend came in with me, and she could just put stuff on over her clothes. So we got into the room, they got me on the table, they talked with her about making sure that the names on the embryo were right, so that they weren't giving us like the wrong embryo or something. That's like one of the checks that they do in their clinic, which I'm sure most clinics do. So, you know, that was all good. And then they laid me down and got me in the stirrups and everything, and the room that I was in was like, there was a direct connection to another room, and I think that that's where all the embryos are stored, or I don't know, that's where they're prepped, I guess. And so the doctor put the speculum in, and they put the ultrasound wand on my belly to see the uterus and the bladder and everything, which was very full. So that was the most uncomfortable part of the entire procedure. It was crappy. But anyway, so he put the speculum in. He said, I can see your cervix. It's nice and accessible. He cleaned it a little bit because I'm doing progesterone tablets. So I'm putting 2 tablets up there 3 times a day. So I had done one in the morning, but I obviously skipped the afternoon one and did that after the procedure, so that it's nice and clean. But he cleaned the cervix anyway, just so that they weren't carrying any of that into the uterus. And so then he put the catheter, after he cleaned it, he put the catheter in through the cervix to the uterus to make sure that there were no issues kind of getting the catheter through, which there weren't, and I didn't feel it at all. No cramping, nothing. It was actually more painful when I had my ultrasound to check, like to double check that I could. This guy behind me is really aggressive. What is your hurry, sir? To check the uterus to make sure that everything was okay. I found that appointment was more painful. Like, this one was just nothing. Anyway, so once he could get the catheter through and it was clear and all was good, he said to the embryologist, like, yeah, we're ready to go. And then, I don't know if the guy didn't hear or something, but like 2 seconds later, he was like, lock and load, which I love that he said that, and I'll never forget that. And I think if this works, I want to get the baby a onesie that says lock and load on it, because only her and I will know, like, we'll have been there for that moment. And I don't know, it sounded super like funny and cool, and I liked it. Anyway, so they brought the embryo in, which they showed us a picture of it before, and they were very happy with it because it had already started hatching. So I didn't actually know this in spite of having had 2 babies, but the embryo starts, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but the embryo starts in like a shell, and it hatches out, and then it attaches and embeds into the uterus. So I didn't know that, but the fact that this embryo was already hatching, they were very happy with. Sometimes they have to do what's called assisted hatching, where they kind of like poke the tiniest little hole in the shell to encourage the embryo to start hatching out. So when they're hatching out on their own, they're very happy with that. Oh, this is bad, and the intended mom is totally gonna give me heck for this. So they said, you know, by the time we actually get the embryo to you, it'll probably be fully hatched already. So the embryologist came in and he said, it is fully hatched. This is a fully hatched embryo, so it's just ready to implant. And so we were joking that it's like this little eager beaver. So they brought the embryo in, and I didn't think think that I would get emotional, which a friend of mine laughed because I'm an emotional and very sappy person. So she was just like, do you know yourself? Like, you really didn't think you would get emotional? But I didn't. I was really excited, and I felt like we were on the verge of something really momentous, but I didn't feel, I don't know, I didn't feel like this like intense connection to it or anything. But when they showed us the picture, I started to just feel like the feelings and get really excited. And then when they brought it in and said it's fully hatched, it's just like it hits you in a way that's different. Like this thing is trying to become something, and I'm gonna try to help it. And that it was really like intense for me. And so he was like, okay, I'm gonna put the embryo into your uterus now. And so he got it all in this, however they do it. And they showed us on the ultrasound, like, this is the needle going in, and you'll see the white flash of light, which will be the embryo being put in there. And I totally started to cry. Not like weeping or anything, and I looked over at my friend and we were holding hands, and she was pretty teary too. It's just a really like intense, I don't know, maybe just like talking about it is really different than actually being there and doing it. And it was really one of the most incredible experiences of my life to get to watch it happen. And I just felt like this really strong, like, come on little embryo, like, feeling in me. And I think that's what made it so emotional, is it's just like there's this life that's trying to, like, get out in the world. And I'm just really hopeful that this works, I guess, obviously. But I just felt it really deeply there. And so he, the flash of light happened, and it was like so exciting. And, then he took everything out, and they could still see it. They still had the ultrasound on, and he said, okay, so the fact that it's still sitting there and not moving, like, that's a great sign. And so they were very optimistic. And even my friend, who's had multiple attempts at this, said she felt like they were just really, really optimistic about this. So the procedure went totally flawlessly. They were super happy with the embryo. And so, yeah, they kind of wished us good luck, and we went to go out, and I went to go into the room to change, and my friend was just like, don't you need to pee? I was like, oh yeah, but I was so wrapped up in the emotions of everything, but I totally forgot. So I went to the bathroom, and this was the first time I'd been alone, right? And as soon as I shut the door, I just started like weeping, and I'm on the toilet going pee, and I'm like doubled over, but like sobbing, like the where your body is just like what's that called? Like, I don't know what the word is. I was like shaking, but not in a shaky way, but my body, like, I was sobbing. It was so unexpected, but I just couldn't help it. It just felt so big. And in that moment, I was like kind of taken back to, when I took my pregnancy tests and realized that I was pregnant, and how emotional it was. And, this like, I'm gonna have a baby feeling. And it was the same feeling in the bathroom, but for her. And I just felt like, I just really want it really bad for her. And I'm gonna be like so bummed if it doesn't work. And yeah, so I came out, and we hugged, and we took pictures, and I felt good all day. I didn't have any like spotting or really any cramping or anything like that. My boobs were sore that day, and they're still quite sore today, but I'm pretty sure that's probably the estrogen and progesterone, though I'll admit I haven't like noticed that in these past days, and I've been on it for weeks. But I think it's probably just the buildup of that. And then we actually went shopping, which was annoying in the COVID times. We went shopping, we had lunch, and then we went back home for a little bit, and then we went out to her parents are camping actually in Calgary, So we went out and just like, I got to meet her family, and they're awesome. Her mom was just really like warm, and she hugged me and she said, "You're the wonderfulest." And her brother was out there and her nephew was out there, and he's 9 months and he's super cute. And her sister-in-law and her dad, and they're just like really, they feel like my family. Like they're just these really wonderful people. And I was sitting at the picnic table after supper watching her with her nephew, and they were like, I don't know, like 30 feet away visiting, like where they were camped was kind of on the edge of this like there's like a dog park right behind the camper, a jog run. And so the baby was just really like into these dogs and giggling away, and I was just watching her hold him and stuff, and yeah, I just should be a really good mom. So it sounds dumb to say, but I'm just so invested. I mean, obviously I'm invested, like it's my actual physical self, and I'm an emotional person, so I'm invested in her experience, right? But this is just I guess I didn't expect it to be so intense, you know, but it's intense in the best way. And I just really, really, really hope that we can that we get to have a baby for her. So now that I met her family too, it feels like they didn't put pressure or anything, but I don't know, I don't mean it like this, and she would be like, if I said this, but I just don't want to let them down, you know, like, I just really hope it works. So please send like every like baby vibe that you have, and yeah, and I'm not going to test until she wants me to. So our blood test is the 9th of September. And we can either wait till that if she would like, or I can take a test before then. She is not back in the same town as I am until next Sunday, so a week and a day from today. So obviously she wants to be with her husband when they find out. So if we decide to test early, then maybe I'll just head over there and take a pregnancy test for them. And I'm not sure yet if I should, you know, we kind of talked about it on the way up to Calgary. It's about a 7-hour drive. And so I'm not sure if it should be me who sees the test and then tells them, or me who takes it and then just like takes off and then they tell me. So I'm just gonna really let her drive that. It's totally up to her, and if they want to see it alone or if they want to see it with me, that's fine too. Like, I'll do whatever she wants. So that was the experience. That is how I'm feeling. Just so hopeful, and I feel like it will work, and I feel like I'm scared that if it doesn't, I'll be shocked and like heartbroken with her, obviously. So yeah, and this video was so long, so I'm gonna stop there.